Hello, once again, everybody. Welcome to Soccer's Overtime, your weekly look inside the San Diego Soccers and the Major Arena Soccer League, streaming live this evening, once again, on twitch.tv/San Diego Soccers and coming into your earbuds wherever you're listening all around the world on our podcast network. Craig Elston, Jerry Jimenez, back with you. It is season 4, episode 9 of Soccer's Overtime. We're calling this one a furious comeback because, Jerry, that's what we saw Sunday at Pechanga Arena, San Diego. Soccers spotted their rivals, the Ontario Fury, a 3-0 lead early third quarter, turned it all around. 6-3 Sox, your final score. San Diego 3-0, Jerry.
What a fantastic game we got to enjoy this past weekend, and one of 6 going to be very, very good games. So if you weren't there, you still have an opportunity to go. However, I can't wait to recap this game. There was so much going on. Like you said, going back from a 3-0, what a comeback. What a furious comeback that was. 6 unanswered, sir. Like, wow. It was just great. It was good all the way around. Obviously, there's still some bad things there. We're still working out some kinks here and there. You know, some people being out also didn't help us. But, hey, also didn't hurt us too much, surprisingly, I would say. Maybe we can talk about it in a little bit. But no, good to be back, sir. Very good to be back.
Always great to be here live with our audience on twitch.tv. We've already got our man, Callan McClurg, jumping in to the chat. We appreciate you being there. I know folks will be finding us as the broadcast continues. And if you are listening to us as a subscriber on any of our podcast networks, right, you can listen to us on Apple, on Google Play, on Spotify, on Stitcher, on iHeart, on Spreaker, everywhere. Really, that you get your podcasts. But if you are a subscriber and you're listening to us on Wednesday morning or whenever, don't forget, make a bookmark. Tuesdays at 5 p.m., we run it live. And it's your opportunity not only to watch the show, to see what's going on, but also to interact with the show, to get your questions answered, to have your comments put live on the air. So check us out every Tuesday night, 5 p.m., our live recordings of Soccer's Overtime. On the show today, coming up at 5:30, we will be joined by our special guest. So if you are on the podcast about 25 minutes from now, we will be joined by Tavoy Morgan, the forward scoring star, Malloy's player of the game for Game 3, picking up a pair of goals as the Soccers come from behind to win 6-3. We'll introduce you to Tavoy. We'll talk to him about his dance moves and everything else. That will be coming up at the bottom of the hour. We're going to go through all the MASL news, all the latest stuff. Dallas is hot. Milwaukee is not. Chihuahua is changing things.
What?
There's really a lot to talk about in the MASL. So we will handle that when Tavoy's done. We're going to preview Sunday's game. And coming up at the end of the program here and at the end of the podcast, we're going to reveal live on Soccer's Overtime our media game rosters and those who have committed to play in the Celebrity Media halftime game this Sunday. So stay tuned. It's all coming up right here on Soccer's Overtime, proudly presented each and every week by our friends at Three Punk Ales Brewing in Chula Vista. Check out the Three Punk Ales tasting room down on 3rd Avenue in Chula Vista. Put a little South in your mouth, as you like to say, as they like to say, and as you would like to say, if you go down there and enjoy a Kill the Poor, or maybe a Putin on the wrist. Maybe you're in the mood for this charming stout. You know, there's all sorts of options out down at Three Punk Ales. They are the proud sponsors of Soccer's Overtime. Check out all their products and find out more. Go to 3punkales.com. That's the number 3, the word punk, the word ales, ALES.com. Steve Garcia, spoiler alert, in the Celebrity Media game on Sunday.
So I just saw that Three Punk Ales is releasing a beer in collaboration with Foos Gone Wild, which is this Instagram account that has blown up. And they're releasing a beer officially with this Instagram account. They actually do shows now. They're way more than an Instagram account. But I cannot wait to try that out. So make sure you check out Three Punk Ales along with all the other craziness that's going on. By the way, wanted to really quickly say shout out to Bobby Cressy. I don't think that before we started doing this live show, you could listen to the entire track of the Soccer's Overtime theme song because it would cut off. However, I've allowed it to play so you guys all can enjoy it because Bobby killed it, and this song is awesome. And so, yeah, if you want to listen to it, go ahead and go back. You sorry you can't mute us, but you'll hear it in the background. It's a great song.
Well, in fact, the name of the song, Beyond the South Bay, it is the theme song of Soccer's Overtime. It's from Bobby's 2019 album, Cali Native, C-A-L-I Native. And you can find that wherever in the iTunes store. You can find that wherever you buy your albums. Go support Bobby. Cali Native is an absolutely awesome track. And yeah, Steve-O, what happened to the Soccer's IPA? Where's our 15% triple IPA for the 15 championship holding San Diego Sockers? We're waiting on that. Let's go, Steve-O. Let's get this done. Don't forget, we're going to do a live show sometime this month down at Three Punk Ales, a live taping of Soccer's Overtime. So stay tuned for that. We will have more on that as the month progresses, as we dig into 2022.
Craig, so Foos Gone Wild, the account that I was telling you about, has 1.7 million followers. Maybe that's what we need to get to before Steve will start, maybe that's when he'll start paying attention to us and get us a Soccer IPA. We're at 10,000, everybody. Thank you so much for getting us there. We're at 10.2, by the way. Nowhere close to 1.7 million, but I have hopes. I believe we can do it. And if you all just tell one person, actually tell everybody you know to follow us on social media, we will get that Soccer's IPA beer out. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen. Yeah, we've loved all the growth on Instagram since the season has started. Appreciate everyone for following us. Forget, you can follow us on Instagram, you can follow us on Twitter, you can follow us on Twitch and on TikTok at San Diego Sockers. The latest TikTok video just came out a little bit earlier this afternoon. Okay, I think the housekeeping part is done for now. Let's dig into the game. Sockers defeat Ontario 6-3. I think you really have to start with the lineup, Jerry, because San Diego coming in, Boris Pardo out, health and safety protocols. Luis Pee-wee Ortega was expected to make his season debut. He was out. Juan Gonzalez was out with health and safety protocols. The injuries that the Sockers have been carrying were all still there. Cesar Cerda, the one guy who did come back into the lineup for San Diego. But missing Pardo was obviously the number one storyline, especially when you're facing a team as tenacious as the Fury. So I know I didn't write it as the first thing in our recap list, but I think we probably have to start with Eduardo Poyo Cortez, signed to a 10-day contract, flown in the day of the match, knew a few Sockers from a couple tournaments in Mexico, maybe, was pretty much, handing out hellos and handshakes in the locker room before the game. He steps in, plays really well, stops 12 shots out of 15, and winds up getting the win here for San Diego.
I think he said it after the game in one of his interviews. He said, I kind of, sort of, maybe not really familiar with some of these guys, so he's trying to kind of put a connection there. But he's like, hey, I'm coming in, not knowing these guys, so that we have to make it work. And I think that everybody just knew what the goal was at the end of the day. It's beat Ontario. And man, did Eduardo Cortez show up. So excited to see what he can bring. If we can keep him, if he sticks around, we'll see. I mean, a lot of people were talking about that too, but regardless, on the night, Eduardo Cortez was fantastic. And really, to me, if it wasn't for him, I don't think we would have gotten, the scoreline that we did. And secondly, I mean, Tavoy Morgan, who you'll listen to or listen from a little bit later in this podcast, he got the man of the match. But honestly, to me, at the end of it, I really thought Eduardo Cortez was my personal man of the match, to be honest. Just what a shot stopper as we're watching here. If you're here with us right now on Soccer's Overtime Live on Twitch, you're watching along with us. Ontario obviously goes up top, 3-0 in the beginning. But if you just watch some of the plays that Pollo did, my goodness, my goodness, what a fantastic talent to be able to come in with literally no time to practice with this team and just fit right in.
Yeah, I think it was huge, and I couldn't agree more that I mean he's the real man of the match. I mean, you can name whoever you want, but if you don't have a strong signing and a strong performance in goal, you're not going to come out of that game. You're going to probably be too far behind, to mount that comeback that the Sockers were able to mount. But really, really well done, very impressive, and I thought. In particular, when you talk about the Sockers playing shorthanded, they played down to four midfielders on Sunday. And that's tough because that means you've got the position where you run the most and you're expecting to get 20, 22 minutes of burn time in the game. You're getting 30, 34 minutes of burn time in the game. That's a huge proposition. But when you realize that the four guys you're asking to carry that load specifically are Leonardo de Oliveira and Brandon Escoto and Charlie Gonzalez, you're talking about quality. You're talking about nothing but pure quality out there on the floor. Gerardo Jurado being the fourth of that group. And as such, I mean, really a tough matchup for Ontario along the way as well. But kudos to those guys because they were playing, a third more minutes in the game than you would expect them to play at top efficiency.
We didn't see, you know, much on the offensive side. I mean, we saw some, but we didn't get to really start seeing some of the offensive side of the Sockers until the third and fourth quarter. You see here we're in the third, and Ontario, finally scores their third and final goal of the night. May I add? And I mean, beautiful goals too. That was really well placed. There was nothing that Boyer could do there. You could see he was on the ground, pretty upset. He's like, just well placed ball there. But man, you talking about the offense. We've been talking about defense for the past, month for this team and how important it's going to be. And we talked to somebody like Mitchell Cardenas, the last podcast, and were able to hear from him and his thoughts. I mean, we need to start talking about the front four. Like, we really need to start talking about these four guys because there you see Leo putting in the ball. Like, what was this? Who did you reference on the telecast? What
Oh,
was the
Stan
player?
Stamenkovic, the pizza
Yeah.
man. Yeah. One
What?
of the all-time great ball handlers in the history of this sport, of indoor soccer, except the Baltimore Blast and Memphis Americans back in the 1980s. And the ability, and we're watching, as you mentioned, that replay of Leo just to single-handedly just annihilate Uzi Tayu, just ruin him and get that goal. I mean, as we said on Twitter, this man's got a family, be careful. What are you doing? You know? But, I think it's interesting to note the Sockers really showed something in this match, Jerry, which is that they can play multiple styles. The Sockers came out and really played a low pressure style, which is something we saw a lot during the COVID campaign. And, sitting back, hunkering down, playing defense, trying to attack on counters more than on run of play. And that was generally effective. And as we heard from Phil Salvaggio after the game, it was their design to try and protect Eduardo Cortez. Brand new keeper. Let's try and protect him. Let's keep him safe. Well, that's fine until you're down 3-0 in the second half. And I said it on the broadcast at MASL TV. At that moment, they were down 3-0. I said, well, game plan's out the window. Throw that out. You can't do that anymore. And the Sockers switched to high pressure. They went from low pressure to high pressure. They started to press the Fury all around the field, anywhere on the field. And I mean, as we are scrolling through the highlights here live on Twitch, goal 2 is the direct result of defensive zone pressure and a tip steal by Cardenas to send Morgan in 1v1 on the keeper. And goal 5 to clinch things is pressuring Uzi Tayu in the defensive corner. Tayu falls. It turns into a 3v1, and it's a tic-tac-toe goal to really put the game away. So I thought it was really encouraging for Sockers fans to see that, yes, the Sockers can win sitting back, playing defense. We saw them do that against Chihuahua. We saw them do that against Florida in the playoffs last year twice, but they can also turn it up, flip the switch, go from 0 to 90 and press, and they can be successful pressing the ball too. Not every team in the league can win playing multiple styles. The Sockers played multiple styles in the same game.
Go back and check out some of the highlights from social media. I had a blast covering this game. Just go to our stories. They are saved from the previous game. If you didn't already see them, I was able to catch the goal from Tavoy Morgan. What a crazy shot. But then also, like you mentioned, that third goal from we saw there our captain Craig Childs just put the ball in the back of the net. But what came before that buildup, and like you said, that pressure on the Tayu brother, what's his was it Uzi? That guy. So just kidding, Uzi. I love you.
Love you, Uzi.
Love you, dude. Uh, you know, it was just such great work. It started getting to the point that we were just frustrating Ontario, right? We were frustrating them. They didn't know what was going on, and it leads to a foul, which then leads to a fantastic goal from who? But none other than, of course, we were expecting him to score a goal against Ontario, his old team,
Yes.
Charlie Gonzalez.
The Fury played a very physical match on Sunday, and it was 100% clear. They can say that it wasn't. They can say that it was just run of play, whatever. It was 100% clear that part of their strategy was to put Charlie on the floor, to foul him hard, to give him a cheap shot if possible. As we're watching the shootout goal, Juan Tapete barrels through the back of his head at the end of the play.
Yeah, for those of you that were wondering, like, what was his celebration, if you watched it, whether it was live or later on, or actually live on the telecast as well, you can tell that immediately he got up, even though he didn't see what happened there. The way he got hit, Charlie was upset. He knew that wasn't right, and so he got up right away. And after he scored that goal, and let him know, hey, this is where I am now. One of those. And you can see him. Was it Topete? To kind of respond back to him a little bit.
Yeah,
But
yeah. He was saying something for sure. Later Thiago Goncalves got a yellow card for I think we're about to see that highlight actually right now,
Yep.
for a completely unnecessary after the play elbow
Push from
on
behind,
Charlie. Yeah, the very next play, Charlie got run down into the turf on the other side of the field. And it continued. It continued throughout the fourth quarter. The Fury committed 20 personal fouls in the game and a pair of blue cards as well. So, hey, it's a strategy. It's an understandable strategy. These are two teams that clearly dislike each other. The Fury clearly dislike Charlie. These folks have issues with one another, and they wanted to play that game. So kudos to the Sockers, I'd say. They were able to play through it, and they didn't retaliate. There were no cheap shots on the San Diego. Not to say that Ontario was really cheap shotting. They were just playing the game physical. They were playing it right to the edge. They were pushing the envelope, which is what you're supposed to do when you play that style. But I thought, to the Sockers' credit, they did not commit cheap penalties that allowed the Fury to get away with it.
I'm pausing it right now because this is why you guys need to join us. If we're in your ear right now and you're not watching us, this is why you need to join us every Tuesday at 5 p.m., by the way, because we are watching some of the highlights along, as we talk about them. This goal for me, and I got really excited. Sorry that I kind of talked over you, Craig. I try not to.
No, it's quite all right.
This goal makes me very excited because this whole game, I feel like, is kind of summarized within this goal. We saw something from the Sockers that we haven't seen in a little bit, I would say. Maybe it's building up to it, but the togetherness of this squad right now, I don't know, man. There's something about it. I kind of want to go back a little bit for you guys to see this. Like, they know what they're doing. They're playing so well together. They know where everybody is at all times on this pitch. Look at this. You can see here Charlie on the right-hand side calling for the ball. You see, I think actually, funny enough, Boris Pardo was watching this game from home, recorded himself, and said he's gonna fall. He's gonna fall. And I think he was talking about Tayu, which he did.
He was talking about Uzi, yeah.
So he falls. very smart of Tavoy. I actually want to ask him about this. He ends up putting his arms up and just kind of jumps around him, gets the ball right to Charlie, who's open. Charlie, rather than taking a shot, sees that Escoto is wide open. Look at this. Like he just, oop, there you go. Goal. There's no selfishness there. This is a team working together. So that's why I got excited. Sorry, Greg.
No, it's so true though. And we're at the moment you paused it, it was Charlie in the crease 1v1 on Chris Toth, forcing Chris Toth to come out and challenge him directly. So if Charlie turns and takes the shot, it's 100% okay that he takes that shot, but it's probably 90% stopped by Chris Toth. But making the extra pass turns it into a 100% goal for San Diego. And the goal that, as far as I'm concerned, sealed the game. At 4-3, it's anyone's game. You're always like 4-3, but Tayu's on the other side. He could score at any moment, and then they've got the momentum back. All the work you did, now they've got the momentum back. No, that fifth goal completely wrapped things up. And then, of course, it's cinched at the end with a blue card on Robert Palmer as Leonardo de Oliveira goes down. There's a battle for the ball with Leo on the floor, and Palmer winds up stepping on Leo, gets the blue card, gets into an argument. Thiago, his old Brazil World Cup mate. I think that it wasn't intentional. I mean, that's my guess.
Some Portuguese at him, like, chill out, dude. It's all right, sorry. But I mean, he stepped on him. He could have very easily. He clearly steps on him, and that's where I was like, oh my gosh, it got very spicy, as we can see here in the comments. We have people saying, I mean, what was this? Somebody was asking about why didn't Goncalves get a red? Too bad my red didn't count. Oh my gosh, we'll talk about
So, one thing I did want to mention, because Robert Palmer reached out to both me and to Nate this morning on Messenger, just, watching back the game and hearing the commentary, and he wanted to make it explicit that he wasn't trying to kick Leo. He wasn't trying to step on Leo, that Leo was kind of on top of the ball. He was trying to dig the ball out from under Leo. He said jokingly, like, what do you want me to do? You want me to step back and let Leo stand up? And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I want. I want you to step back, let Leo stand up, let Leo shoot and score, and then give him a kiss. I mean, that's what I really want to have you do. But if you insist, but listen, and I'll say this for myself, Nate, for every announcer in the MASL, we're calling the game. We try, especially here at Soccer's, we try to be as down the middle as possible. We understand that there are more opposing fans watching than home fans when we are at home, although maybe in COVID times it's a lot more even than maybe it should be. And we try to just call the game objectively. We didn't say anything about Robert being a dirty player or that being a dirty play, because he's not, and it wasn't. It was a card. It was a carded foul. It was absolutely deserved as a carded foul. I got a little bit loud on the broadcast because we didn't have the replay on the broadcast, but we had it on the Jumbotron, so I could describe what happened. Only I couldn't show the audience what happened. So that's probably why Robert was like, why are you saying, stepping on his solar plexus? You make it sound like I'm doing it on purpose. Well, that's not necessarily the intent. So I just wanted to say that, all respect to Robert Palmer, won MASL Defender of the Year last year, is a competitor. Everyone's a competitor on these two teams. And as you showed in the comments, Jerry, it was spicy on Sunday. That's like wing 3 on Hot Ones. We're heading down the row of the spicy wings to get to the truly caliente, both Sunday and then the following week in Ontario.
I'll say it. Hey, Palmer, all the cards, sir. You get into my DMs and explain yourself, because I am upset with you. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, it's one of these things, with rivalries. This is gonna happen. They got very, very physical, and like you said, the whole game was a very physical match. We knew it was going to be. We didn't quite expect it to be at this level. I don't think I expected it to be quite there. These guys all respect themselves as athletes, but there is still a little extra oomph in there that I'm really, really loving. And the Sockers, man, they held their own. You know, I think we heard it multiple times from players afterwards. It was about being smarter than them and controlling that adrenaline and being able to just get the job done first and foremost, put everything else aside and just get the job done. And you saw it, man. I mean, this is, a perfect example. Uh, being able to keep Frank off the scoreboard,
Unbelievable. Yeah.
dude, like that was amazing.
I'd actually like to look up how many times in the last 5 years Frank Taillou hasn't scored a goal in a game. Because the thing about Frank Taillou is it's basically like, well, yeah, he's good for one every game. And then the problem is keep him from scoring 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yeah.
7, because that's where he can go when he gets super effective. You heard Phil Salvaggio say it after the game. He feels like the Sockers have some positive matchups in the back with Guerrero Pino and with Mitchell Cardenas guarding Frank Taillou. And as you saw, if Taillou was on the floor, Pino's on the floor. And if it's not Pino, it's Cardenas. And it's one of the two. They were always on Frank. The Sockers liberally double teamed Frank when he got the ball in the offensive zone. And listen, it's the mad respect that's deserved for the best scorer in the history of the MASL. You have to shut down Frank Taillou to shut down the Fury. I think it's really important to note, though, Jerry, when you shut down Frank Taillou, right now, you shut down the Fury. Because last year, the Fury could come at you with the King and with Justin Stinson and with Charlie Gonzalez and with Maicon de Abreu. And it was like, okay, pick your poison. You want to double team Frank? You're going to leave Charlie open all day. You're going to leave Maicon open all day. You're going to have opportunities for scores. And a guy like Charlie, of course, a big time facilitator, wasn't always just going to take the shot. He was going to find the right pass. So there's a little bit right now, and I want to make this emphasis for Ontario fans listening or watching. Right now, there's a little bit less offensive talent on the Fury than there was at the end of last year. And I'm sure Maicon de Abreu will be back. He showed up on the active roster for the Fury. He was not at the game on January 2nd. It's possible he'll be there on Sunday. I do not know. This isn't Striking Fury. So, you can find out your de Abreu updates over there. But here, I know that the Sockers present that type of offensive challenge to every other team they face, Jerry. Oh, you want to shut down the all-time leading scorer, Craig Childs? You want to focus on him? Okay. What about Tavoy Morgan? What about Leonardo de Oliveira? Are you going to shut him down? What about Brandon Escoto? What about Charlie Gonzalez?
Pick
What
one.
about Gerardo Jurado? What about Cesar Cerda?
Yeah.
The Sockers have players to attack. The Sockers have players to score. They've got players at all three levels that can score. And when you've got that type of dynamicism as an offense, then it can't be as simple as shut down one player and you shut down the team. It used to be absolutely shut down Craig Childs, you've shut down the Sockers, right? But what we saw on Sunday was shut down Frank Taillou, shut down the Fury. And to handle Ontario the way they did, I thought just kudos all the way up and down the Sockers defense.
I thought for sure the real villain of this game was not going to be Ontario. I always knew that. I thought for sure the villain was going to be this guy. But
right?
No avail. We managed to get through this jerk face and got the job done, man. That's what we needed to do. But God, that thing is ugly too. Hold on. God.
Yeah.
It looks like
and that's like the alpha version. The Omicron version's even uglier. It's got like
Is it?
Yeah, it's got like nasty stuff all over the place.
I don't know science.
Yeah, well. You and most of America, Jerry.
No,
It's-
I believe in it. I said I didn't know it, but I trust.
yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Hey, it's the bottom of the hour.
Well,
Let's
for
welcome
you.
on.
Hold on, I'm giving you a blue card for that one.
I
That's
think more of a yellow,
unnecessary.
really. It's more of a yellow,
Yellow.
but let's welcome in our special guest right now. He scored 2 goals, including the final one where he danced like an Egyptian at the end. He is a second year now player on the Sockers and hoping for a second championship. Let's welcome live onto Sockers Overtime, the one and only Tavoy Morgan. Tavoy, Craig, and Jerry, your friends here with you live on Sockers Overtime. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it is our pleasure, my friend.
Look at the
Hey,
beautiful jersey. I just want to see. Look at that. Look at that jersey.
Yeah.
come on. Let's go. Oh, that's a Kaz Dana. You got yourself a Kaz Dana.
Yeah. I got this one personal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to be buying. I'm going to be buying a couple on Sunday at the game, actually myself, because that Legend series is absolutely sick. But hey, let's start there, Tavoy. I know I asked you that question on the post-game show, but the opportunity to be on the floor where those Sockers in the 1980s won so many championships, be wearing that same jersey as a Kaz Dana, a Brian Quinn, a Julie V. Did that bring out any type of emotion in you?
No, it just give us a boost, like to just go out, give your best, as the legend used to do, and make sure we came up with the win. Cause back then they always like winning, so we have to like continue that legacy.
You know, Tavoy, one of the things that we had talked about was just that, like, this jersey means a lot. Putting on the crest means a lot. First of all, we're so excited to have you back and to have you have been a part of, you know, what became now a ring on your finger, the championship, the 15 championship for the Sockers, adding to that legacy, adding to the history of this club. What was it like, man? This game specifically was, I mean, we're gonna see them again, right? We're gonna see Ontario again, but it was the finals rematch technically. What going into this game? What were the emotions going into this? I would say finals rematch against Ontario.
It wasn't that emotional. We were just thinking that we didn't have Boris in the goal. Pablo is first game. So and then for us wearing this jersey, it make us want us to win, you know. But see us go down 3-0, and then we get back the first goal and the second goal, and then we get that energy and we just pick it up from there. Being here, being a champion, receive that ring is just give you a different feelings, you know, like you want to win more, you want to like continue the legacy of winning more games, and you know, always trying to beat the opponent because they are good also. So it's always a battle with them.
Yeah.
We were talking about it before you came on, kind of breaking down the match, Tavoy, and talk about the physical style that Ontario decided to bring to the floor on Sunday against you guys, because it really did seem, you know, they had 20 fouls in the game. They had, of course, 2 blue cards in the second half, but it did seem like part of the strategy was, hey, what can we do to try and kind of beat up the Sockers, and we gave you guys a lot of kudos for keeping your heads and not taking retaliatory fouls or getting blue cards in response.
Yeah, I know we're gonna come. They're gonna come physical. Charlie were there. Then Charlie came to this team. Leah used to play for them, so I know it's gonna be physical. We beat them in the final, so we know they want to come for that revenge. And we just stick together. We have good leadership. Keep us in the game, not to retaliate. We have Serta, Cappy, Pino. We were like there for the guys, not to get involved those stuff. So we have them to just keep us mind right and stick to the game plan. So that's what we did.
You know, to where we have a lot of people coming in. They love you, man. A lot of the fans here are sending messages. Hopefully, you can see some of them. You know, you see Hey Tavoy, love you, man. Welcome, Tavoy, Tavoy. There's everybody sending
Yeah,
you some
thank
messages
you.
right now. And part of this, what we're doing right now, is to be able to bring our fans live that are watching here with us, and actually make them a part of this. And we actually had Gabriel, who's on here. He said, right, oh, friend Gabriel's here. He mentioned earlier, he thought he looked at this game and he thought the first half, I think this was part of the idea of the coach. This was part of the plan, was to frustrate them, and let them kind of do their thing, figure them out for the first half, and then come in the second half, third and fourth quarter, and just really give it to them. I want to know, one, was that kind of part of the plan? Was that something you had talked about or not? And then also, if not, what was the coach's speech like? Because we definitely saw a change during that halftime from first, second quarter into the third and fourth.
Honestly, first off was 1-0, and then coach give us a speech. That's boots me up to just go out there, stop playing lazy, run with your guys, pressure the ball, and it just started to happen after the first goal. We just started to, hey, okay, now is the time, and then from there we really pick it up, you know. Um, I know their defense are being aggressive, so we have to be aggressive up front in the middle, to get those extra ball and going forward. Don't go back. We keep going forward, and that's where we pick it up. Started to get goals from there.
The rest is history, right?
Yeah,
Well, you had told us in the office, Tavoy, that, and you told the fans. I saw you put it out on social. You said, "Come to the game Sunday, see my first goal at home, and see my first dance." We got to see your first two dances at home. I loved the choreography with Leo. I liked that. Second goal. Was that a straight 80s callback? Walk like an Egyptian? That's what I was seeing. There was some old Bengals action.
it was just a little fun celebration for the fans, and I want to get involved with the fans, man. They know that I am here, what I'm capable of, and what I like to do. I want like the fans happy. So it's gonna always be celebration for me when I score a goal. Um, my first home game, I was a little hurt, so I didn't have the game I wanted to have. So I know I'm gonna be better for this game. So I know I have to score to help my team. So I just put it out there, and thank God it happened, and the fans get to see it.
One of the things that I've been doing too, because I can tell that you have a lot of fun, and your dances is something that we all very much look forward to. I've been having a lot of fun during warm-ups when you're doing leading warm-ups with the guys, and everybody's doing kind of a bit of a dance. I'm picking like different songs. So I'll talk to you later on. You can recommend some songs, but I'm basically putting music over your warm-ups, and for whatever reason, it's always like on beat with music whenever you guys are doing. It's amazing. But I don't know if you've seen it, but I think I did like the first one was like the Mexican hat dance, and it was like and everybody was dancing on beat. Oh, it was so good. Um,
Uh,
I'm gonna start calling you the Pharaoh, Tavoy, the Pharaoh Morgan, because that Egyptian celebration was awesome. Man. Loved it.
yeah. I mean, it starts from practice. Every
Yeah.
day we went to practice. I was always like trying to put smiles on the guy's face, trying to do a little dance, trying to do something, build a dance for when we score. So everything starts from practice, and then the warm up. It's from Jamaica. When I was growing up, we always like do the vibes and stuff to get us in the mood going into the game. So I just want to bring all of that here, because not everyone really speak the English, but I want to let them know how we do it in Jamaica. Like we need that vibes, we need that rhythm, change it up a little bit. So I just want to give them that energy, and they love it. They love it.
Oh, we love it too.
I
Yeah.
think all the fans are loving it too, Tavoy. Now, I got to ask you about the second goal because you and Childs had a good laugh on that one. And when you watch the replay back, I'm sure you did. You pretty much stepped right in front of him. He was
Yeah.
about to take that shot, and you scooped him on that. But thank goodness he got a touch before that, and he got the assist as well. What did he have to say to you on that one?
After the touch, I received the ball, and after I moved the goalie, which it was the six attacker guy, and then I thought he was going to run to my left. He was a little next to me, and then I see that I'm going to the goal with just one guy in front of me, and I just make two dribble, and then I shoot it. I thought he was going to continue, but he did not. I mean, he was saying, "Pass me the ball," so I mean, it was an empty net. I want to score.
We thought that might be what he was saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's Craig Childs. We knew what he was saying.
Yeah.
Selfish. You already had one, sir.
Oh my gosh, absolutely incredible. Now, you had the chance to come in at the end of last season, Tavoy, which meant you only got to spend a few weeks in San Diego. It was like a couple of games and then bam, the playoffs. And of course, we were on the road all the time. So this is your first chance now to really have spent a couple months in San Diego, California. What are you finding out about the area, about the county? Have you found some places you like to go, places you like to eat? Like, what are you learning about our part of the country?
When I came here the first time, started to practice with the guys. I came here and I saw Nelly, so I was more happy with that. And then into the games, getting familiar with the players. They getting started to trust me, play me the ball, and they started to feed me, you know. And then winning the championship made me want to come back. So that was good. It happened. And then here in the city, it's really nice. I go a few restaurants, like some. I go to Canes. Me and Leo, we go to like the beach sometime, you know, to walk and hang out. But it's nice over here. I really liked it.
What's the difference? Like going, obviously you coming from Spanish Town, Jamaica to San Diego. What are maybe some actually what are some similarities, to where you're from to here? Is there anything that's similar at all?
Not much, you know. The weather. I would say the weather.
The weather? Okay.
Yeah. But I not really see much Jamaican restaurant where I'm at in Vista, so
Oh,
I
you're up
but
north.
when I go to the supermarket, I don't really see much. So it's not really much, you know.
Yeah,
But
Well,
we
just
got to
like
hit
the
you.
weather, the beaches, and the peoples are here are nice as well. There are nice people here.
Well, let me ask you this, Tavoy. If it's the off season, if it was the summer, and Jerry and I could get on a plane and join you down in Spanish Town, where would you take us? What would you want us to see? What would you want us to eat?
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. First, I want to take you in the community I'm from. Show you like where everything started. Show you how I grew up. Then I will take you like to the beaches to let you see the beach, how people swim. How we got that the coconut, the drink, the jelly water, the fish, the festival. And I want you to enjoy the Jamaican food and mostly in like the community, you know, like to see oh it's rough. It's rough back home. It's not easy. People are like workless, you know, people have to like how they survive. So it would be nice to have people go back home to just show them, you know, and they could see like where I'm coming from.
Well, let's make
that's
this
awesome.
happen, man. I'd like to do it.
I want to go.
Yeah, yeah.
So We can follow him around and record it. So we put it on the soccer's tab, and we'll all go, Craig.
Yeah, there we go. We'll make it a business trip. We'll make it a business trip. I think we can work that out, Tavoy.
I always say to coach. He say he's been there.
Oh yeah.
It's different than like the resort. To go into the community, it's two different. So I always tell him.
Well, okay, I just got an idea. Jerry, I just figured this out. Do you see the light bulb over my head, over my bald ass head? Okay.
Yeah, I do.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go on a recruiting trip to put Calafino in the key resorts of Jamaica. Yes. It becomes a business trip. Tavoy, you can be our ambassador, right? Yeah. We'll have to bring Cheeky along. I mean, fine. That's fine. We'll bring Cheeky along. But then we get to have the cultural side, and we'll write it off because we're going to get Calafino into a Jamaican resort. That's what we'll do.
Once you're there, you're going to feel that energy. You know, Jamaica's like have that energy. So you're going to feel that energy. You want to like do a dance or something, you know. You're going to see the kids like happy to see you guys. You know, it's just always fun. Energy.
Awesome.
Tavoy, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you spending the time with our great fans here on Soccer's Overtime that are live on Twitch. We appreciate you being on. For all the folks who are listening after the fact as well, stay healthy, stay well. I'll see you out at training and, of course, at the arena on Sunday for the rematch. Thanks so much for the time.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for the fans.
We'll see you soon tomorrow.
Sunday, more goal celebration.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Let's go. I love it. Tavoy Morgan, our guest. We'll let you go, Tavoy. Take care. Bye-bye.
Oh, man.
What a guy, man. What a guy.
He's amazing.
So much fun.
Dude,
what do you think? Can we do this? Can we get this Jamaican trip going? What can we do?
Please make it happen. I really want to go with Tavoy. Like, I really do. And maybe we can just bring a bunch of, like, let's make it a giving thing. Like, I want to bring a whole bunch of stuff to give away. And like, let's make it a thing. Dude, I really, really want to do it. I'll pay out of my own pocket, Mr. Phil Salvaggio. Please, let's make this happen. Like,
I will go to Jamaica.
Yes,
like it's like everyone should travel. By the way, I know these are the worst 2 years to have said this. Everyone should travel. You learn so much when you expose yourself to a different culture. When you allow yourself to understand that we are all people living on Earth. That even if you go to a different country, they are humans who get up, put on their clothes, have to go to work, have to figure out how to get home, have to figure out how to keep their kids entertained. You know, we're all people living on Earth. And I think one way to realize that is to go. It's to be somewhere that's not your neighborhood and that's not your country. So anyways, off the soapbox. Tavoy Morgan, our guest, what an incredible guy.
Love that guy.
Let's talk a little bit. We're going to get in here, Jerry, but let's start with a couple of notes I had left on the menu that we didn't get to before Tavoy joined us, speaking about specifically the Sockers lineup. So, of course, Sunday, the Sockers were without 3 players due to health and safety protocol. And based on my conversations with our athletic trainer, Paul Savage, and our general manager, Sean Bowers, we're expecting to have all of those players back for Sunday. So that means Boris Pardo, Luis P. Ortega makes his season debut this coming Sunday, you know, health and the rest of the week wanting and willing, and Juan Gonzalez should be back. Also, and we hadn't really talked about it yet, you heard Tavoy mention it, though, Cesar Cerda was back in the lineup for the Sockers on Sunday. Now, I will tell you here on this platform that was out of necessity. That was because Pee-wee popped positive and couldn't be in the lineup. If Pee-wee was in the lineup, Cerda wouldn't have been because the Los Medicos really wanted to give him one more week on the hamstring. So, so what you saw on Sunday, which is something you would almost never, ever see, is you saw Cesar Cerda doing what they call in the sport running in threes, meaning he had 2 partners on his line defensively. So he was only playing 1/3 of the time when normally you'd expect Cesar Cerda to be playing a half of the game. and to run in twos with just one individual partner. That was 100% to protect him. It was 100% to try and keep him healthy and keep him in the lineup. He also didn't make the same number of forward runs that you might expect to see Cesar Cerda make when he's at full strength. So really good news that Cerda played, made it through the game, was healthy at the end of the game, and will be available in greater form going forward. However, we talk about all the good news of people coming back. You do have to talk about Felipe Gonzalez. So here's the good news, because I see Joe Hutt on the stream asking how is his knee. His knee's fine, and that's good news. Felipe Gonzalez took a strained hamstring on Sunday. He pulled his hammy, and he'll definitely miss the next game. He said it was a little bit okay. He shut it down. Felipe is a smart player who's taken injuries in his career and has missed a lot of time in his career taking injuries. I think he did the right thing by shutting it down exactly when he did. I still truly believe he will definitely miss the next game. He might miss the following game in Ontario, but in doing what he did, sitting down on the field, shutting it down when he did, I think he prevented having a long-term injury. And that's great news, because obviously you never want to have Felipe Gonzalez out of the lineup if you can possibly avoid it.
No, he's smart. He was very, very smart about it. And, you have to give it to him. He's experienced and he knows his body. So, I hope he comes back soon and stronger than ever. And that's one of the things too with these types of games, with these physical games, you have to be very smart. And I think Felipe was. So that's a good thing.
The last thing I wanted to say before we switch categories here, I saw S. Barber had a question earlier before Tavoy came on while we were going through the game recap, asking for an update on Xavier Snare Williams. And basically like, okay, Pardo got hurt. The Sockers signed a guy off the street. So what's the deal with Xavier? And, it's important to note that Xavier Snare Williams is 22 years old, on his first pro contract of any kind, and has never played a pro indoor game. The first time he takes the floor, that'll be his pro indoor debut. Originally, he was probably a guy ticketed for M2, and he came through the open tryout training camp process, through M2. Xavier has played on the beach national team, the U.S. beach national team. He was the understudy to Chris Toth on that team. He was the youngest player to travel to Croatia. The future is bright, and Xavier is a very bright young man with an incredible attitude. I think it's really fair to say that match day 3, game 1 against the Ontario Fury and Frank Tayu, the Sockers didn't want to put Xavier Snare Williams into that particular powder keg, right?
Not the best place to start a young guy like him. Not a good place to put him.
That's all.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I talked to Xavier before the match because he was out before warm-ups, going out there, kind of loosening up. And I told him when he came off the floor, like, don't think that you're not playing today. Come into the locker room assuming that you are going to play, because you just don't know. You don't know if Pollo Cortez, he was on a flight. You don't know if he showed up and his hamstring hurt. You don't know if he shows up and rolls an ankle on the first play, and you have to get thrown in there. So, I was just trying to kind of counsel him to be mentally focused like you are the player until the moment that you're not. I really, really like Xavier. I think he's incredible. I think he's just got such a great attitude, and I think he's going to be a great part of this team. You just got to find that spot for that first game, and it's definitely not game 1 against the Fury. There's going to be a spot for Xavier down the road. It's just not quite yet. That's all. He's still developing. He's a project.
If you've stood next to him, like, the guy is built like the Incredible Hulk. The guy is buff, but he's also very agile and can move. I see him definitely playing a few games and actually proving himself. I really am excited to see him, hopefully soon. This was not the one time to have Xavier show up and try to defend, and that's why Boyo came out. A way more experienced goalkeeper. he showed up. But it's good to know though that Xavier was back there just in case he needed that help. So he's one of those players that, yeah, I mean, we kind of have to little by little, he'll get in there.
Absolutely. Let's turn to the MSL now, because there's some interesting stuff that I definitely want to get into before we get out of here. 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, we have Jamie Lovegrove on the show. The following week, the day before Christmas, pardon me. Let me get this timeline right. 2 weeks ago, we have Jamie on the show. The next day, Wednesday, Pablo De Silva is fired as the head coach of the Dallas Sidekicks, with the Sidekicks 0-3, 11 goals for, 22 against. Not in a good place.
For the record, we had nothing to do with Pablo getting fired. But yeah, go ahead.
Correct. Christmas Eve, Jamie Lovegrove puts in the group text, hey, I'm going to go back to Dallas, right? Asks for his release from the Sockers. Sockers give it to him. Jamie goes back to Dallas. Last week, we talk about it on the show, and we're like, well, kind of sucks because he's leaving a team that's really loaded, and he's going to a team that'll probably win 3 games all year. Dallas has won 3 games in 3 games since the firing, since the change, since Jamie coming. They went from 0-3 to 3-3. They went to Milwaukee and won for the first time since 2004. And all of a sudden, the Sidekicks are in second place in the Central Division with the same number of points as the Sockers, with 9 points. I mean, what the heck?
I feel like Spider-Man at the end of the second movie, was it Far From Home, when he goes, what the that's pretty much, I'm like, what is going on here? Crazy. But Dallas is showing up. I mean, maybe it goes to show, and this is something that this is my takeaway from this whole ordeal. We never know what's going on in those locker rooms, in those training rooms, in the back. We don't know what's going on, and you can never judge. So, I mean, we said it here. I hope that they're making the right decisions by letting him go. And here you go. I guess it's showing up.
Yeah,
I guess
proof's in the pudding. Yeah, proof's in the results. 3-0, playing better, beating good teams, and going to Milwaukee and winning is just remarkable. And I love that comment from Gabe in the comment section saying, thank you to the Sockers for releasing Jamie Lovegrove when he asked. And it was a situation of mutual respect. And I also think it was a situation of, hey, go play in Dallas, but come deadline time, if your team is 3-12, like, you might want to come back, but not if they're 12-3. What the heck? Just blows my mind. Dallas, incredible. What a story. On the other side, Dallas goes to Milwaukee and wins. That means Milwaukee loses at home. Milwaukee is 0-2 at home. Milwaukee is 0-4-1 on the season, 5 losses, 1 in overtime. So they've got 1 point out of 5 matches for a team expected, of course, to be a championship contender in 2021-2022. What's the matter with the Milwaukee Wave?
Hi, Gordy Gerson. How's it going? No, I'm just kidding.
He's got like 3 goals.
Oh, he does. But has he helped them win? No.
No wins.
Gordy, man,
no wins.
I love you, dude. I'm just joking. No, it's not him. We have some familiar faces over there, and it hurts to see them hurting the way that they are. Not just him, but it's so weird. And then you have also Kansas City coming in and doing what they're supposed to do and what we expected them to do, coming into a 5-0 start for the season. I mean, the comments are just killing it too. So it just, you have some things you expected, some things you didn't expect, and a lot of things you definitely did not expect. MASL is going to MASL, Craig.
Well, I'll tell you what, I looked at the Wave schedule yesterday because it just 0-4-1. I mean, wow, right? Like you never ever would think that the Wave would be one of the 4 teams in the league that didn't make the playoffs at the end of the year. But you really look at that schedule, and the key is going to be Dallas because the Wave and the Sidekicks play, I think, 4 or 5 more times this year. So if Milwaukee can establish a supremacy over the Sidekicks, they'll be able to leapfrog them and get into the playoffs. And even if they sneak into the playoffs, they'll be good. Now, I asked the question kind of rhetorically, what's the matter with the Milwaukee Wave? One of the things that's the matter with the Milwaukee Wave is they don't have their starting keeper, Josh Lemos, who was a second team all-league keeper. They've been playing a new to the league keeper. He hasn't been great. You know, they haven't had great goalkeeping so far, and that's definitely a problem. The stars are there for Milwaukee. I think some of their depth has eroded over time. Their stars are aging. Ian Bennett, Marcio Leite, but they're still great players. They're still doing the job. Leite's leading the league in assists. Bennett's leading the league in points right now. So they're still doing the job. They're just not getting the secondary contributions. They've lost a couple close games. They've had some bad luck early in the year. I'm not going to write off Milwaukee, but I did see from Joe Hutt there, let's get Leite back. It's kind of the opposite of the Dallas thing, right? I mean, I was thinking last week, like, okay, Dallas will be bad, and we'll go back and we'll try and scoop Lovegrove back in later in the year. Well, maybe we go knocking on Milwaukee's door. Like, hey, Marcio, what you enjoy it out here? What do you think about spending a couple months back out here?
It's a bit too early in the season, I would say, to start making assumptions of things. I've learned not
Absolutely.
to assume things. However, if this continues on the way that it is, hold on to your butts, everybody, because 2022 is going to be ridiculous. Honestly, as I'm looking at these last few games, just the league in general, I'm going, hey, Chihuahua. And talking about Chihuahua, there's a bunch of stuff going on over there too, Craig. Like, what is going on over there?
So the Savage, right, came to Ontario, lost, came to San Diego, lost. That was the 3rd week of December. They haven't played since. They're going to start playing soon. They're going to Milwaukee, I know, in a couple of weeks. They're making changes. The Chihuahua Savage are making changes. They announced today, this is huge, they've signed Luis Jaime Borrego to be their technical director, their head coach, director técnico. And Luis Jaime Borrego was the head coach at Solis de Sonora, moved to Monterrey Flash, has never missed the playoffs in any year that he has been a head coach, has taken 2 different franchises to the Ron Newman Cup finals in Sonora and Monterrey, pardon me. So Luis Jaime Borrego becoming the head coach of Chihuahua is important. Obviously, the season is already underway. He doesn't get a full training camp. He doesn't get to do everything his way. It's going to be a period of transition for Savage, but they've put one of the best head coaches in MASL on their bench. That's huge. Secondarily, also today, Chihuahua announced the signing of 2 players we've seen have a lot of success in the league, and that's Adrian Pareja Rios, and Eric Yon Ponce. Eric Yon Ponce has been in Monterrey and has been a good player, a power play player, a scorer, very effective forward. Should really add to the Savages scoring. Adrian Rios played with Hugo Puentes in El Paso. I want to say 2018, 2019, and they were a dynamic duo, a great scoring duo. And Rios Puentes was the duo, Rivers and Bridges. And that became the scoring duo in El Paso, Rios to Puentes, Puentes to Rios, Rivers and Bridges, Bridges and Rivers. And so to have those 2 guys together with obvious chemistry from the past, that's a big signing. So Chihuahua making steps, getting better. They've yet to play at home. And let's really keep an eye on this franchise, Jerry, because keep in mind, they are having, just like all the other MASL teams, they are having major P1 visa issues, trying to get their players to have an American visa to be able to play professionally in the United States. As it stands right now, Chihuahua is looking to me like they're actually two teams. They're the home Chihuahua team, which is going to be one of the best, toughest teams in the entire league. And they're going to be the road team, which is maybe one of the easiest teams to beat in the league if things stay as they are. Very interesting. Stay tuned. Put a pin in this one.
That's gonna be a good one. I actually see Borrego as like a mixture between El Turco, Mohamed El Turco, and also El Piojo. He has that face where he just looks like an evil villain when he's on the sideline, like he's gonna take you out. And then he does. So it's very exciting to see some changes happening over in Chihuahua for sure. And we'll see what happens there, man. It's it's a bummer as we're talking about visa, visa situation because we're kind of affected by that too. And just the world that we live in right now is one that just is causing all sorts of problems for sports in general. So,
Yeah.
the best to Chihuahua. We're gonna see them a few more times, so we'll definitely see Borrego, and we'll see how that goes. Luis Jaime, okay, Luis Jaime. Yeah, so excited to see how they do. Yeah.
Yeah. And don't forget, the Sockers will be playing in Chihuahua on January 21st and 22nd. And you and I will be offering English commentary for both of those games right here on twitch.tv. So we will be carrying the MASL TV feed from Chihuahua live on the broadcast right here on Twitch, while Jerry and I will be at the Calafino Lounge up in Carlsbad calling the game off the 50-foot giant screen Friday night, 7 p.m., Saturday night, 6 p.m., and we'll offer that English commentary here exclusively on Twitch. So tell your friends when it comes that weekend and it's time to watch those games, instead of watching the MASL TV Spanish language version, you can watch an English language commentary while seeing all the exact same visuals that you would see on YouTube right here on Twitch. So make a note of it. Join us. And as we said last week, we'll say it again. If you are a soccer supporter, if you're someone who makes the call to join us in Section 19 for our next game on Sunday, if you're there on Sunday, you're going to get the invite to join us at the Calafino Lounge and be part of that broadcast on Friday night. So think about it. Join us. Gabe just asked, was the supporters attending idea scrapped? No, it wasn't scrapped. I just said it again. I just said it right now. Get over to Section 19 on Sunday. And if I see you over there, you're invited to Calafino and to the Supplement Lounge.
Take attendance on Sunday. I'm going to go take attendance in Section 19. And if you're there,
you're going to be there with that click, 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 click.
Hey, what's up, Gabe? Yeah, you're in. We'll get you into Calafino for those games. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm getting ready. It's going to be my first time actually doing some color commentary, and it's mainly going to be Craig, a little bit of me, and it'll be a lot of fun. So come and hang out with us. Hopefully, come hang out on Sunday, and then in Section 19, and then we'll see you. What is it, 20th and 21st?
21st, 22nd.
21st, 22nd. I was off by a day. Well, almost there. That's going to be really, really exciting. And yeah, I believe their game is what's the name of their arena? Where's a Baja Field?
I've never seen it. I see that question. Is it an outdoor like Sonora? Is it an indoor? Let's find out.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Let's find out together. Let's enjoy. It's going to be
fourth quarter. I'm going to have so much Calafino in me. You better be watching right here live on Twitch.
It'll be a voyage of discovery. Yes, indeed. And a voyage of drinking brown liquids. We will absolutely enjoy that. One last thing. I just wanted to kind of toss this out there because it obviously, we're not here for excuse making. We're here to try and elevate this league and this sport. It's been the toughest professional challenge of my 10 years working for the San Diego Sockers, trying to negotiate the gauntlet of Omicron plus home games. It's been an absolute disaster the last couple of weeks. And obviously, it's very tough to get people to come out, never mind groups of people to come out to enjoy a game indoors in the midst of literally the worst wave of COVID in the history of the disease. It's been tough. It's been tough. And obviously, it's affecting the league as well. It's affecting rosters. It's affecting players. We had our GM out. We had one of our assistant coaches out on Sunday, and our head coach had to test negatively in order to be on the floor on Sunday evening. So a lot's going on. I just wanted to note that the San Diego Sockers tested everyone last week. They tested their vaccinated players, which is everyone essentially on the team. They tested the unvaccinated players, which is what the league insists you do. They tested the staff. Okay, all the soccer staff tested to make sure that they were negative to come to the game. And obviously Sean wasn't, and he couldn't. Sean Bowers, our GM, couldn't come to the game on Sunday. That's not the league policy. The league policy is that unvaccinated players have to be tested before a game, but not vaccinated players. And as we know with Omicron, the double vax doesn't do very much to stop infection. It'll stop hospitalization, it'll stop serious disease, but it doesn't do a lot to stop infection. A third shot, the booster, does, but the second didn't. So I just wanted you to know that when one team in the league says, hey, no negative tests here. And then the Sockers are like, hey, we got 4 positive tests. And you're like, oh, wow, the Sockers must have an outbreak. We're testing everybody. The other teams not everybody, I don't want to speak for everybody, but many other teams in the league are only testing the players who are unvaccinated. And so you don't even know. You don't even know if they're running around with 3 or 4 positive guys on the floor. And I think the league did a good job putting together the policy they did in the fall. And I think the policy looks like a policy that was crafted in the fall before Omicron. And it would be neat to see them adjust it. And I know it's in the middle of a season, but I'll give you another example. The league protocol is if you test positive, you have to be out 10 days. That's not the current CDC protocol. The current CDC protocol is 5 days if you're fully vaccinated. So I'd like to see that adjustment from the league. I don't know that we will see that adjustment from the league, but I'm saying it's making it hard. It's making it hard on the teams to sell tickets that are in states where people take the disease seriously. And it's making it hard to put a team on the floor. And I'd like to see everybody do the same thing. That's what I'd like to see. And that doesn't mean for us to test less. It means for everyone to test a little bit more.
Regardless of where the league is, I feel like, we're doing the right thing, which is all we can do is what we have control over. So as a soccer organization, at least we can come out and happily say we are testing everybody. We're going above and beyond. I think when it comes to rules, and something that I've learned being in the plumbing trade, you kind of are given minimum requirements, right? You're not given necessarily always the right requirements or the right rules. But it's up to you to make that adjustment. And so with minimum requirements come that idea of, okay, well, can we do better than this? And the Sockers are in a way doing better and testing everybody. So that's good. And, at least we're honest. And that's one thing that you're always going to get out of this show, out of this club, is you're always going to get honesty. And you're always going to, sometimes obviously we have to word it certain ways or whatever it may be. But first and foremost, we want you guys to know what's going on whenever we can let you know what's going on. And so, with that being said, how is it going to affect the January 9th game coming up? Who knows? But we are doing everything right to make sure that we get back on track. And hopefully on January 9th, we do have some of those players that were missing back because it's given us some time. Craig, can we jump into that a little bit? Like, what do you know that I don't know, sir?
What in terms of? I do think we'll have Pardo, Pee Wee, Juan all back.
Yes. Good.
From my understanding, all those guys should be, all the guys should have tested out, should be fine, should be ready to go. I think if the protocol was 10 instead of 5, we would have had, one or two of those guys back for the game on Sunday. Certainly Pardo, we would have had back for the game on Sunday. So, again, just like you said, Jerry, I think you said it really well. We just try and tell the truth, explain everything that's happening, be very communicative, be very direct with all of our great Sockers fans on this podcast, explain things and hope that information is helpful and helps you understand where we're coming from. All right, let's wrap things up with a look ahead to Sunday, because the Sockers will be taking on the Fury once again. It's the second of 3 in a row between these teams, understanding that the third on January 16th will be up in Ontario at Toyota Arena. The second of 4 this month between the Sockers and the Fury, 5:00 at Pechanga Arena. And it's the annual celebrity media game. Now, one announcement, because I just see the graphic that you've got up there, Jerry, already. The pregame fan fest has been canceled in the parking lot. Guess why? COVID. Yep, there it is. Big O.
Sorry.
Starting for every team, the Big O, Omicron. So no fan fest, bummer. Reschedule that. Put that on the back burner. The celebrity media game is still on as of now. The celebrity media game is still on as of now. We love all of the folks who have committed to join us on Sunday. It is time to reveal those rosters. I'm going to tell you that those rosters have changed in the last hour, which really sucks.
Well, especially
really sucks.
Some of the names that dropped.
Sports in the time of Omicron. It's not great.
A new book by what's her name?
Yeah. Instead of love in the time of cholera, it's sports in the time of Omicron.
Gabriel Garcia Marquez.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So let's roll out and reveal our media game lineups, our celebrity media game lineups for 2022. And do we have some graphical support for this?
I don't know. Which team do you want to go with first? Sure.
Let's go with Team Navy. The team wearing the navy blue. They're not representing the United States Navy. They're just wearing navy blue.
Drum roll. Here we go.
Team Navy will be featuring BJ McPherson, the all-time San Diego Gull keeper. He's been a keeper since 2016. U.S. women's national team star Shannon McMillan in the front office of the San Diego Loyal. The play-by-play voice of the San Diego Padres, Jesse Agler. The host of the Darren Smith Show, the one and only Darren Smith. Steve Garcia, the owner and co-owner and founder of 3 Punk Ales. From the 2 Balls and a Mic podcast, Chiva is on Team Navy.
Alejandro.
Rick Romero from 91X is on Team Navy. Beto Perez from 94.1 is on Team Navy. Derek Dawson from the San Diego Gulls is on Team Navy. Tony Gwynn Jr. was scheduled to be the hype man and coach of Team Navy. He just tested positive in the last 15 minutes while we were on the air.
No.
While we were on the air, Tony dropped out. Joe Little from NBC was scheduled to be on. His office forbid him from playing. Whatever. It is what it is. But I like that team, though. You got Shannon McMillan. You got Steve-O. You got Jesse Agler. You got BJ in back. And you got Chiva up front. And that's going to matter when we get to Team Light Blue.
It is.
Because Team Light Blue will be featuring in net from 2 Balls and a Mic podcast, Tony Sanchez. So the bets have been flowing, right? We know the tequila will be flowing before the game, courtesy of Calafino. And then the question will be, will Tony be able to keep Chiva out of the net, or will Chiva fill the net with a goal against Tony?
With a ball or 2?
Yeah, right. Will it be 2 balls? Will he just throw a mic into the net? I mean, does that count? We're going to have to figure this all out on
Oh
Sunday at
my
halftime. So
goodness.
I can't wait to see uh, Tony versus Chiva. Also on Team Light Blue from Channel 933, Cabana Boy Jeff, one of our absolute favorites. The other half of the Unnamed Soccer podcast. You've got Darren Smith on Team Navy. You've got Jordan Caruth on Team Light Blue. So
Do they
we've
know
got
you
them back.
separated them? Do you know do they know you separated them?
Well, they know now if they're watching.
Oh, nice.
You think I'm going to put them on the same team? Are you kidding me?
No, that's no fun.
Of course they're going to be on opposite teams.
Oh my.
From Fox 5 San Diego, the great Samantha Rivera will be joining us on Team Light Blue. The CEO of Voice of San Diego, Scott Lewis, Coach Lou, will be joining us for Team Light Blue. From Channel 8, Jake Garignani, such a hard name to say. Jake Garignani will be joining us, the reporter from Channel 8 Sports. Frankie V will be joining us, and Steve Quiss, longtime play-by-play voice. And lastly, from the Beer Night in San Diego podcast, Cody will be joining us. So we've got 2 great teams lined up. It's going to be a lot of fun. They're going to be running 9-on-9. It's going to be wild action, 10-minute halftime game, the celebrity media game. I will come running down from my perch up at the top row of Pechanga Arena, San Diego, to handle the halftime PA and play-by-play. And the game will be carried on our broadcast on MASL TV. So if for some reason you can't make it out, please come to the game. But if for some reason you can't make it out, we'll carry the game for you live on MASL TV. So that's the halftime game. The media team has been revealed. 2 balls and a mic out there. I'm guessing that's Tony on the comment, because he says, "Let's go Team Light Blue." I don't think Chiva would be saying that.
Doubt it.
So you've revealed yourself, Tony. Thank you for tuning in to the broadcast tonight. I absolutely can't wait for this game, and I'm so thankful to the people who have agreed and committed to join us out there on Sunday. We are trying. We said it last week. We're trying to keep everybody as safe as absolutely possible. Everyone's vaccinated. Everyone's staying healthy. We're trying to do the best possible job we can. We're going to find out if tequila
Corona.
can kill Corona. Cheeky says no, but but maybe we'll try and add to the sample and see if we can find out. And then, of course, we've got the game on Sunday. And I think the biggest thing to look at is just, how do things change? Does Maicon de Abreu come into the lineup for Fury? I think that's the biggest single change they can make, is if they get Maicon back. It adds a scorer. It adds a dangerous left foot. It adds a whole new dimension to their attack. Where will the game plans change? Are the Sockers going to try and low press again, or are they going to come out and try and pressure the Fury? How will Fury change their game plan? There's a lot to look for in Sunday's game. I think the one thing you can be guaranteed to see is a level of intensity. And I'm just going to say it right now. There were 2 blue cards in the game this week, Jerry. I'm going to say 5 on Sunday.
I'm ready.
All the cards.
I'm ready. I stole this from the soccer squad. Don't tell them. No, yeah, I agree with you. I think it's going to be an exciting match. I think it's going to be a lot more physical. I think it's going to, up the ante here, the second game. Crazy to think we still have to see them 4 more times after this one. So yeah, I mean, let's go. What else can we say? I mean, previewing this game is going to be very difficult. You just have to be there with us on the 9th. Come on.
We would love you to be there with us. SDSoccers.com/tickets or call 866-799-GOAL or call 866-799-GOAL. Say you want to be a supporter. Put yourself in Section 19 and get $12 tickets to the game. The cheapest price. You get it by phone. You get it by calling and becoming a supporter. I wanted to wrap. Oh, and the last thing I wanted to say about Sockers Fury, from a soccer standpoint, to me, this is a huge game. Because if you win this game, it means at the very worst, you're going to go 2-2 against Ontario in the month of January. At the very worst, nothing will have happened, right? You'll have knocked 4 games of the rivalry off the schedule, and the standings won't have changed at all. That's the worst case scenario if you win on Sunday. If you lose on Sunday, obviously you've got the next 2 matchups against the Fury in their home house, and you just don't know. You don't want to see it go that other direction. So this is a chance to really grab control of the season series, of the division, to really make a statement on Sunday. We'd love to see the Sockers do that. Last thing here before we go, I've gotten a number of questions, Jerry, here on Sockers Overtime live over the last couple of weeks about our merchandise, because obviously we debuted the brand new home jerseys on December 19th. We debuted all the retro kits on January 2nd. Several of our fans bought each and every one of the Legend Series kits at the merchandise stand. But for everyone who's watching and listening from out of city, out of state, out of market, you're asking, when can we get stuff? So I did ask that question of Ezra Burdett, our director of merchandise and sales, earlier this afternoon. And she did text me this evening and said, new merchandise will be available in the online store after Sunday's game. So an exclusive chance to come to the game on Sunday to grab one of those jerseys. I know some of them have more limited runs than others. Like, it'll be easier to get a Julie V than a Kevin Crow or a Gene Wilrich. So, go to the game, of course, pick up everything. Can you believe we were selling those retro kits named and lettered for $80?
Yeah, $80.
I mean,
deal. Yeah, you're getting quite a deal.
$250 for a similar jersey at a Gulls game with no name and number. 80 with a name and number at our game. Nothing against the Gulls, but I'm just saying, $80. Ridiculous deal. But if you're looking for this stuff and you're out of market, the message from Ezra is she is going to be loading stuff after Sunday's game into the online store, sdsoccers.com/shop, and expect there to be a 10 to 14 day shipping delay because we are storing all of our stuff at the arena. So it takes a physical trip down from Carlsbad to downtown San Diego, Midway District, to fulfill. So it's not going to be Amazon. It's not going to be next day. But with that understanding, you can start to place those orders next week. So, exciting news for everybody out of market. And for myself, I'm pretty sure I'm going to grab a Wilrich and a Toth before I leave on Sunday.
Nice. I'm not sure which one I'm going to grab, but I'm definitely going to grab one. Trying to figure that out.
Well, Jerry, we have reached the end of the menu. We've reached the end of the broadcast. We're almost at the end of 90 minutes, and that appears to be the new length of the live Sockers Overtime show on Twitch. So
Nice.
I want to say thanks to everybody who's joined us, the dozens who have tuned in here live. Don't forget, we're on every Tuesday, 5 p.m. On twitch.tv/San Diego Sockers. And on the way out, Jerry, let everybody know where they can follow you and where they can catch Cheeto FC and all the things you're doing.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing a podcast, a different one, not Sockers related. Go and check it out. It just came out literally the 1st of January. It's called the Cheeto FC. Go and check it out. You can follow me at Cheeto Jerry, and you can follow the podcast at the Cheeto FC, TheChido FC. Football culture. Go and check it out. And also, again, I'm going to keep saying this until we get to 1.7 million and we can get that Sockers Overtime beer, or just Sockers beer. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Sockers IPA. 1.7 million. We'll get there. On social media, follow us at San Diego Sockers.
Follow me on Twitter at 619 Sports. Follow me on Instagram at 619 Sports and Live. For Jerry Jimenez, for our great live audience, for Tavoy Morgan, our special guest, my name's Craig Elston. We will see you Sunday at Pechanga Arena, San Diego. If you're out of market, we will see you live at 5 p.m. Sunday on MASL TV, streaming live on YouTube. Until then, thanks so much for listening. Have a great week and go Sockers.